Hello there, good afternoon, and welcome to the Football Tribe YouTube channel. My name is Robert K. Sarkos. How was your weekend and how is your Monday? Well, everything was well on my side and hope it is the same for you. Today we'll be reviewing all the Premier League action that happened on the course of the weekend from match day 3. Remember, action kicked off at Stamford Bridge on Friday night, where Chelsea beat up against Luton Town by 3-0 and concluded on Sunday evening as Jurgen Klopp's side beat up against Newcastle at St James's Park by 2-1. So let's dive into it all as the action happened. Like I said, action at Stamford Bridge on Friday night kicked off with Chelsea recording their first Premier League victory of the new campaign with that 3-0 victory over Luton Town. It was Raheem Sterling with a double strike in that one, as well as Nicholas Jackson on target to give Mauricio Pochettino their deserved 3 points on the night. A spectacular performance from Raheem Sterling there and Malo Gusto for the Blues, because Malo Gusto managed to pick 2 assists for Raheem Sterling, while Raheem Sterling, on top of his brace, managed to find time to create another for Nicholas Jackson as he scored his first goal for Chelsea. So, big performance from Mauricio Pochettino's side as they recorded their first victory on match day 3. Remember, the first was a draw on match day 1 with Liverpool before losing out to West Ham on match day 2. So, that was the action from Stamford Bridge. Action continued on Saturday with the early kickoff, where at the Vitality Stadium, Bournemouth did host Tottenham Hotspurs, but the visitors managed to beat up against Andoni Iraola's side by 2-0. Pape Matsar providing the assist for James Maddison to put Ange Postecoglou's side into the lead, while Dejan Kulusevski got the other one for the visitors. So 2-0 it was for Tottenham, who managed to pick their second victory in a row. Remember that on match day 2, they did beat up against Manchester United by 2-0, while they had to settle for a 2-2 draw on match day 1 against Brentford. So 7 points on board for Ange Postecoglou's side. Action continued at 5 p.m. on Saturday with Arsenal sharing the spoils against Fulham. Now Fulham opened the scoring in the first minute through Andres Pereira, who picked up on a loose ball from Bukayo Saka and went on to score, catching Aaron Ramsdale off his line there to find the back of the net. It was a poor start for the Gunners. Remember, this was the third time for the Gunners conceding in the first minutes of the game at the Emirates Stadium. The first 2 games it happened, that was against Bournemouth at the Emirates last season, as well as against Southampton last season. So this time around again, they did concede in the first minutes. It was a game where Fulham played with a low block. They're quite defensive, but they also were very mindful of capitalizing on their chances when they got the opportunity to counter. Raul Jimenez, remember, tried a volley there, but just didn't hit the target. So 2-2 it was for the Gunners and Fulham, the party spoilers for the Gunners over the weekend. After Andres Pereira opened the scoring, Arsenal could not find a way in until they got that penalty in the second half, following a foul by Tite on Pablo Vieira. Bukayo Saka stepped up and he converted that penalty, and then minutes later it was Edin Ketia who found the back of the net to make it 2-1 for the Gunners. Once again, Pablo Vieira providing the assist. But it was never to be, despite Fulham being reduced to 10 men, with Bassi, who was getting his first Fulham full debut, shown a red card there. It was a second booking, subsequently a red card. The first booking was for time wasting early on in the second half, so he got sent off. You would think that Arsenal would capitalize on that to further dominate the game, but they did drop off pace a little bit and eventually got caught in the mix there as the second half wore on. It was Paulinho who found the equalizer for the Cottagers late in the game. 2-2 it finished as Arsenal dropped points. So, 2 victories on board from the opening 3 games and a draw for Mikel Arteta's side there, who has come under enormous criticism from the Arsenal fans, both on and offline, for his choices, the players that start, but also in playing system. Moving on, the other action saw Brentford share the spoils with Crystal Palace. There, Kevin Shedd on target for Brentford, while Joachim Anderson found the equalizer for Roy Hodgson's side. So, those two sides also shared the spoils on Saturday. Again, kickoff was at 5 p.m. Moving on, at Old Trafford, it was a bad start for Manchester United as they went down by 2 goals in the opening 4 minutes of the game. Taiwo Awoniyi, scoring in his 3rd consecutive game of the Premier League, found the opening goal, beating Marcus Rashford for pace and power to find the back of the net. Remember, Manchester United were just from the other side getting the corner, but Brentford managed to break through with that counter and got the lead through Taiwo Awoniyi there. Moments later, it was Willy Bolly who found the back of the net again off a set piece as Manchester United were caught slumbering in their own box to make it 2-0 for Nottingham Forest. But Manchester United did find their footing back in the game with Christian Eriksen picking the first consolation of the game there in the first half. In the second half, early into the second half, it was Casemiro who leveled matters for the home side. But later on in the game, Nottingham Forest were reduced down to 10 men, and eventually Manchester United did win it through a penalty that was converted by captain Bruno Fernandes. Marcus Rashford reported to having been fouled in the area. I didn't think it was a penalty for my view, but well, it is what it is. So they were given that penalty, and Bruno Fernandes did step up to convert from the spot to win it for Erik ten Hag's side. 2 games won, 1 game lost from the opening 3 games of the Premier League season. The first was a 1-0 victory against Wolves before losing away to Tottenham by 2-0. So, 3-2, it was a victory for Manchester United against Nottingham Forest. So, that was the result from Old Trafford, and then action continued on Saturday. A little bit late there, 7:30 was the kickoff as West Ham United beat up against a dominant Brighton and Hove Albion by 3-1. James Ward-Prowse, summer signing from Southampton, opened their scoring on the evening before Gerard Bowen doubled the lead. Mikel Antonio was the other on target as David Moyes' side beat up against Roberto Di Zerbi's Brighton. So it was Pascal Gross who found the only consolation for Brighton there in that game. Really beautiful game where Brighton had everything going for them except for the part of finding the back of the net. The result was a 1-0 victory for Wolverhampton Wanderers against Everton. Everton losing their 3rd consecutive game into the campaign. So 0 points on board for Sean Dyche's side there as they lost by 1-0 against Gary O'Neill's Wolverhampton Wanderers. Sasa Kaladzic there finding the back of the net late on in the game. I think it was about the 87th or 80th when he won the game for Wolves there. So another bad result for Everton. They will have a lot to ponder on for going into match day 4 of the Premier League. So, and then action came on Sunday. A great showpiece. Action kicked off at Burnley, where they lost by 3-1 against the visitors of Aston Villa. Matt Cash opened the scoring before doubling that lead. Again, Matt Cash on target there. He had not scored in almost 2 years, but he did find the back of the net twice to give Unai Emery the lead against Vincent Kompany's Burnley there in that game. Moussa Diaby, the summer signing, also there, was the other on target, while Lyle Foster found the consolation for Vincent Kompany. It was early into the second half when Lyle Foster scored to make it 2-1, but Aston Villa did stamp their authority in the game when Moussa Diaby made it 3-1. They did miss a few other couple of chances. Perhaps the game they would have scored even much more. Remember, they came into the game with high spirits, having beaten Hibernian in midweek in the Europa Conference, preliminary rounds there by 5-0. So, beautiful game there it was, and another victory for Unai Emery's side on the back of beating Everton by 4-0 on match day 2 in the Premier League. So, 2 wins on board and 1 loss from match day 1, and they lost 5-1 to Newcastle. So, 6 points on board for Unai Emery. The other game saw the reigning champions of Manchester City beat up against Sheffield United by 2-1. Erling Haaland on target there, but that was moments after missing a penalty in the first half. So, Erling Haaland on target, while Rodri had to score an 87th minute strike to win it for the reigning champions, Manchester City. Jayden Bogo had found the equalizer for the home side, but they could not hold out for a point or even further that into victory. So Rodri breaking their hearts there. So 3 victories from 3 matches for Manchester City. There, remember that match day 2 they did beat up against Newcastle by 1-0, while the opening day saw them beat up against Burnley by 3-0. Then the incredible match came. The big game, Super Sunday fixture between Newcastle and Liverpool. It all started well until Anthony Gordon capitalized on a loose ball that Trent Alexander-Arnold failed to control and pounced to find the opening goal at St. James's Park, beating Alisson Ramsey-Becker in between his legs to make it 1-0. That was in the 25th minute of the game. 3 minutes later, it turned from bad to worse as Liverpool were reduced to 10 men, with captain Virgil van Dijk being shown a direct red card for a foul against Alexander Isak. As the last man, the referee just dug into his pocket and picked that red card. It looks, the replay did show wasn't conclusive on that bit of contact, but Virgil van Dijk had already been given his marching orders. Jurgen Klopp had to sacrifice Luis Diaz to pave way for Joe Gomez in defense. Liverpool had to fight on. 1-0 it went into halftime, and in the second half they did make a couple of changes again, bringing on Diego Jota for Cody Gakpo. Harvey Elliott was also one of those, and then in the 77th minute it was Alexis McAllister that was called on to pave way for Darwin Núñez. Darwin Núñez in the 77th minute comes on. 81st minute levels the score line with a wonderful strike there, beating Nick Pope in goal. 1-1 it was. And then Liverpool continued to hold their lines. I did feel that Newcastle were a bit complacent, not capitalizing on that manless Liverpool, but it seemed to have strengthened them as they played as a whole team. They did defend well and they did attack well. And eventually, the 93rd minute, Darwin Núñez once again was on target to win it all for Jurgen Klopp. What would you expect after that? Jurgen Klopp punching his fist high in the air, celebrating with Liverpool fans at full time at St. James's Park, while Ed Howe was quick to run down the tunnel in disbelief that his side had lost to Jurgen Klopp's side. So that was all the action from match day 3. Very entertaining action from Friday to Sunday. My match of the weekend was definitely Newcastle versus Liverpool. Not so much in terms of what it had to offer, but because of the way Liverpool managed to win that one. If you were to ask me, the other game that I would place high up there was Chelsea's victory over Luton Town. Not that we didn't expect Chelsea to win, but the way Raheem Sterling, Malo Gusto, and others rose up to pick that victory. So that's it for me. That's all the review for match day 3 of the Premier League. Thank you for watching. If you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you're regular, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.